Good morning. It is the Charles Van Morgan Show. Welcome, welcome. So we are broadcasting live in the morning, unedited, unbridled news. Today we're going to talk about go along to get along. That's what they want. And the answer to that is no, because messaging is the war. And we're going to explain that to you today and talk about some corruption in the state government. Hello, good morning. Thank you very much. Pretty Tingz. Thank you. So we'll put you as moderator on again in the next few days. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you. So we're going to talk about going along to get along. My answer to that is no. And we win because messaging is the war. This is a campaign unlike any other campaign that you've ever seen in the history of campaigns. It started before the governor's race. It is a campaign of messaging. You turning as an independent candidate. Yes, I'm running as an independent candidate. Yes, that's right, independent. But I represent both parties. So we're going to talk about messaging is the war, and we win no matter what, because this is a campaign, a fight for the people of Tennessee, both Republicans and Democrat. And our campaign slogan is vote, voters of truth enraged. It is about a government that represents you instead of the elite. So the campaign slogan is the elite versus the people. And there's more of us, and we can beat them bad. So come on in, welcome, welcome. We're going to talk about a few court documents, show you how corrupt these dirtbags are, and tell you what this campaign's about. It's unlike any campaign in the history of any known campaign that I know of, and we win no matter what. Elite versus the people, that's exactly right. So come on in. Thank you all so very much. Let's get this show on the road and talk about some stuff that is very important. And so let's get this camera set up right. Well, I don't know if it's going to. So thank y'all for coming. And so it worked a minute ago. Well, there we go. So thank you all for coming. So they want us to get along to go along is the message that these people in the elite are telling us. Get on one of the conveyor belts, get on the Republican conveyor belt and the Republican elite conveyor belt that carries you all the way to the governor's office or political office, or get in on the Democratic conveyor belt that takes you all the way to political office or the governor's office. Get on the conveyor belt. Get along with one of these parties to go along and get in power. But that would be against my moral ethics to provide for the safety, health, protection, and well-being of all Tennesseans, because these conveyor belts are for the elite. They're built by the elite. They carry them to political office, and that's why you got so much bad people in political office, because they got on the conveyor belt that serves the rich elite. So our plan, non-violently, symbolically, I have to keep saying that because they'd love to arrest me, is to blow up the damn conveyor belts, blow both of them all to hell. Symbolically, not realistically. We're not getting on the conveyor belts. We're not going along to get along. And I'll explain to you why. If we go along to get along, we've got to spread the message, either party, that they're both good parties and they're representing the mass populace of Tennesseans, or even on the national race, the national populace of Americans in national races. And by getting on the party conveyor belt and praising the elites, then you go right to political office, and it's a wonderful life. You know the Christmas story, you live a wonderful life. But we're not wanting to live a wonderful life in the sense that we are going to step on other people in order to get there. And both the parties step on other people in order to get their wonderful life. And I'm not going to do that. We can have a wonderful life by blowing up symbolically both political parties and representing the mass millions of Tennesseans. That's what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid of, because they know there's more of us, way more of us than them, and we're trying to wake them up. Can we? I don't know. If you will help me, if you will subscribe to the channel, if you will like, if you will share, if you will talk to your friends and tell them about this new political campaign that represents the people, that is not getting on the conveyor belt of the party system. And I'm going to explain why we can win that way and why we win no matter what, because the messaging is the war. That's what they don't understand. The message is rightness for the people. Should be government for the people. Neither party does that. That's well known in Tennessee. I've got the pulse of Tennesseans. I've talked to thousands and thousands of people all across Tennessee here just recently. In the last election I ran, the messaging was the war. So we won the war, lost the election in their sense, but kept our moral integrity and we're winning the war. We got a message out statewide. We're coming up on today. If you watch this show, if we get over 1,000 people to watch it, which we will, I believe, then we'll come up on cross over 2.4 million people. We're winning the war. We're winning the war because the messaging is the war. Unlike any campaign, let me explain this. Unlike any campaign, their sole endeavor in their campaign is for them and their great wonderfulness to get in power and have everybody listen to them and be able to run the government in the favor of the conveyor belt that got them there. That's their whole agenda. And if they lose the election, oh, it's horrific. They have lost everything. And it is destructive to them. And they try to run again and hope that they win. And that's the sole prize of these other campaigns, is to win the election. And the sole prize of this campaign, we're already succeeding. 2.4 million people coming up on 2.5 million people at the end of today's show, this Charles Van Morgan Show, Unbridled News. The goal of this campaign, the war, is messaging. It's a nonviolent, peaceful message. It's about voting, voters of truth and rage. So the fight, the war, is I would love to win political office. That'd be wonderful. But if I have to sell my soul to win political office, then I never will, because I'm not going to. I'm not going to get on a conveyor belt and go along to get along. Doesn't work that way with me. I'm not cut out that way. I'm cut from a different cloth, and I'm not your regular political candidate. I'm for the mass left out millions and millions and millions of Tennesseans. I represent you. There's way more than us. If I can wake up just a few percentage of the people that didn't participate and flip some of the people that did, about 20%, then we're on our way to running the government in your favor by weekly and monthly meetings in different cities, listen to what you say, and then going to Nashville and obeying your voice, not the loudest voices, the voices that are for the mass populace of citizens. So get along to go along. The message is the war. Now, we are getting a message out. That's what this is about. That's what it's always been about. Get a message out to millions of people. We've got this message out to people in Ukraine, to people in UK, to people in the Philippines, to people in Canada. People all over the world are listening to this message. We're coming up on, at the end of this, 2.5 million people. That is the war. Getting the message out. We're winning. We're winning. If we don't win political office, we win. We've got the message out. Part of the reason to get on the governor's race ballot was to win the governor's race, obviously. But even if we don't win, the ultimate goal is to get a message out. You say, what's the message? What's the message? As if I haven't been clear, the message is very clear. It is the elite people in power, the conveyor belts that carry these people to political, it's a wonderful life, against the mass populace of Tennesseans. And there's way more than us. The message is people in government power that got on the party conveyor belts are crooked as hell for the most part. They're dirty as hell. And I've been showing a little bit of that every day about how crooked these people are. And people in government power are crooked, and they are out for your demise, and they're so glutton they're even dangerous to themselves. So we're trying to legitimately, at the voting booths, take control of our government, rightfully so, in the hands of people. It's not in your hands right now. It is absolutely not. It's in the hands of a small group of elite people that are so stupid that they're even endangering their damn selves. They do crooked stuff every day. They feed off you and your tax money, and it's a wonderful life for them, and millions of Tennesseans are left out. So I'm offering a government that represents you. And we're talking every day, Unbridled News, about the crooked people in Tennessee government, the wrong that they do to the mass millions of Tennesseans. It happens every day. That's the message, how crooked the government is. I've been on television stations, and every time I speak in churches, and my message is so powerful. It is so powerful. It's a wonderful message for you, the mass populace of Tennessee. It is symbolically, it is a bullet aimed right at the political elite parties, the billionaires and the people that buy these elections, Citizens United and all these corps that want you dead and want you destroyed by their actions that they're taking. That's the message. The government's gone to hell in a handbasket. And I know this isn't heaven. And like my mother used to tell me, we're not in heaven yet. But while we are here on the earth until Jesus comes back again, or if you're not a Christian, you still want a government that allows you freedom of speech, freedom of religion. And until Jesus comes back, in my faith, until the rapture, or what I call being caught up in the air to meet Jesus, then we have to make it a state and a country where we have freedom of speech. And I'm telling you, these people in power are going to take your freedom of speech away. They're already enacting legislation to do just that. Now, they don't say that. They don't say that. They're surreptitious in their how they present things and title things that are against you like they're in your favor, like the Peace Act. It's not the Peace Act. It's the Anti-Spreading the Gospel Act by a alleged Christian governor that would not even mention the name of Jesus Christ until he was prodded by me to do so in his last State of Tennessee address. He finally mentioned the name of Jesus Christ. And because the message is not the war to him. The message for the people is not the war, because he's on the political conveyor belt that carried him into the governor's office, that he has to praise the parties. I don't have to do that. That's not my fight. I wouldn't feel morally, honestly right in doing that. So they want you to shut up, stay in line, don't ask questions. And while you're going along, they're robbing you blind. That's what they're doing. That's the message. And we win the message. And let's stop this insanity of the government, because it's not going to work. Even if you go along and get along, they're still going to step on you. I tried going along once. I tried going along twice. I tried going along 3 times. It doesn't work. The 3rd time's the charm. They fabricated testimony. They planted evidence. They threw me out. So here we are, and they'll throw you out too. So I don't go along, and neither should you. Don't go along with these people. And the messaging is the war. In any war, there's a message. Now there's physical, mortal combat in literal wars, and we're in a literal war with Iran right now. There's mortal combat. We're dropping bombs on them every day, thousands of bombs, and their ships have been destroyed. Their nuclear facilities where they were preparing trying to prepare enriched uranium have been destroyed. We're in, and people are getting killed. It's mortal combat. And this is another type of war. This is political warfare, nonviolent. And let me stress, this is a nonviolent political endeavor. No violence at all. I object to any violence. If you're wanting to get into any violence, you're in the wrong movement. I'm for peace. Now they say they're for peace, but they're for war is what they're for. They're for violence. And even their judges and their people in government power are violent people. I'm not violent. We can beat these people. The war to us is messaging, getting the truth out, shine the light on their dirty. So in any war, there's messaging, even in Mortal Kombat. Over in Iran, there's messaging and along with the war. Because if you can get the enemy to give up, to lay down their arms for whatever message that you send them, to get them to surrender or get them to stall or stall for a moment, then you can win the war. You can get a punch in. So Mortal Kombat is one part of war. We're not involved in that. This is political war. And in that Mortal Kombat war, there is a serious effort at messaging war, a messaging war. That's going on right now in the United States, even involving that Iran war. And that's what this is. This is a messaging war. Don't let nobody fool you. The governor's race is just an outlet to get that message out, and we're winning all over the state. My name's been in Charles Van Morgan, which is your name. This is your name. This is not for me, it's for you. I'd been safer if I'd go hide under a rock somewhere. God had made me that way. I fight, and we're fighting, and we're winning. At the end of the day, we'll be on our way to 2.5 million people have listened to me for a substantial period of time because I'm for millions of Tennesseans. I'm for you. Even if you don't agree with me about every individual effort, I'm still for you because I'll listen to you and go to Nashville and do what you want me to do. The message is the war, so we're winning. And even in Mortal Kombat, which this is not, absolutely not. I detest violence, and I detest the government's violence, which is why I'm doing this, because they're violent to you. Trust me, they're very violent to you. And that's why you can't sit it out, because they're coming to get you one way or t'other. They're coming to get you. And that's what we're going to stop by peaceful means. We don't have to be violent. There's millions of us. Show up at the polls. We'll show them. We'll put them in their place. We'll get in government power and have legal, legitimate authority to protect ourselves and our families and our children. They're not protecting you. They're protecting themselves. You're getting slaughtered on the roads every day because of how they're running our law enforcement agencies into the ground for themselves. And they're not even very good at that. And we'll talk about that, how they're running our law enforcement agencies. So messaging is vitally important, even in a Mortal Kombat war. And they're doing that in Iran. You see it going on in the news every day, messaging. Now there's bombs dropped, and that's powerful. They're blowing the hell out of these facilities that were trying to enrich uranium, blowing the hell out of these places that are making drones to bomb the other side, blowing the hell out of the military institutions in Iran, which they should do. Right now, they're in the straits of the straits trying to get oil through, because part of the war is for the Iranians to say the Iranian regime, not the Iranian people. The Iranian people are great. We're trying to help them. They're happy that we're doing this. Americans aren't happy that we're doing this. Some of them, a lot of them are. The news media like to say everybody in America is against us. No, we're not. No, we're not. We voted for a president that is doing this, and our wills are being enforced for the most part. So in the Straits, the messaging by the Iranian rogue jihadist regime that seeks to kill all non-believers in their religion is that if you come through the straits, then with your oil, we'll blow it up. They're trying to shut down the world economy. Now, whether or not they have the means to do that is another thing, but they're sending the message that they do. That fear, that message is powerful, almost as powerful as a bomb, and in some cases more powerful, because people won't take their multi-million-dollar ships through the straits because of fear from the message of the Iranian regime that if you come through the straits, we're going to blow We're going to blow your boat all to hell and all your oil all to hell, and we're going to kill you. That's the message. Messaging is powerful. That's what this is about. That's why we're winning. It's about messaging. People don't understand that. We win, we win. You say you didn't get many votes in the last election. Why are you still running? Because we got a message out. We're winning. And that's the ultimate goal. There's a tipping point where we'll win the messaging war and we'll win the election war. That's a tipping point that I believe, I hope will come to fruition. I don't know. There's no guarantees in any war, even a political war. There's no guarantees. But there is a guarantee that as far as we can, we have got a message out about how destructive your Tennessee government is. You don't hear this anywhere else. Charles Van Morgan, unbridled nude, political candidate, civil litigant, messenger, news journalist. You won't hear this message anywhere else. So if you like this message, cut from another cloth, going against the grain, not going along to get along. We're trying to tear their systems up to where they'll have to get along with us. They'll have to get along with you. So if you like this message, subscribe to the channel. Help us get the message out. That is the war, getting the message out. That's all it's ever been about. The message, getting it out. And the message that we're getting out is a message for you. I assure you, I've got a history. When I was in state government, I had a history of keeping people safe. Now, their messaging was that I didn't. But that's not true. That's a lie. They have messages too, and they're false messages, and that's what we're trying to overcome. You have a little squeak right now, 2.4 million people probably already at this, coming up on 2.5, but it's getting louder and louder. If we get loud enough to start polling 5% of the polls, the news media will start chasing me down and wonder what the hell's going on. And they're going to have to get along with us to go along. Right now, they don't care about getting along with us, and they think I care about that. I don't care about that. I care about public safety and the people in the state of Tennessee. I really don't care about getting along with their systems. I'm trying to symbolically destroy their corrupt, crooked systems. I don't care anything about getting along with them. And even if I don't win political office, I wished I would, I wished I could for you, then I still win because I get a message out. Now, if I start going along to get along, then I'm not getting the message out, am I? And I get political office and I get to talk wonderful about the wonderful people in public office, and I get to lie, right? I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen. If you want this message, you can help me dramatically by contributing if you can. Hit the square icon, contribute to Charles Van Morgan Unbridled News. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Talk to your friends and neighbors about this unorthodox, unconventional political campaign that's really for the people. That's just telling the truth, whether it's politically correct in their world, on their conveyor belts, and it's politically correct because it's for the people. They just try to say that it's not, that I'm such a bad person. And that is absolutely not true. That's their message. I'm getting this message out. No. I am legitimate. I am honest. I am for you. I'm for public safety. I'm for the people. I'm for the economy. I'm for health care. I'm for improvement in society. And I'm not for socialism. Socialism doesn't work. They are for socialism. They won't tell you that. They say, well, we're going to cut out food stamps and we're going to make people work and we're not going to give them money, and the mass populace of Tennesseans, and you can get a job and all this, and even elderly people that are too old to work, even little children that are too young to work, even handicapped people that literally can't work. I mean, let's just be real. If you can't work, you don't eat. Sounds real good in theory, and it is biblical, but it doesn't mean that if you can't work, then you starve. That's not a moral, civilized society. There are reasons that society ought to fulfill its moral obligations to help people who cannot help themselves. And they will tell you that that's too bad. That's not for the government to do. And I'm going to tell you, in a civilized society, the hell it ain't. You're going to stand by in a government in the United States and watch people die, starve, freeze. That's not moral. That's not ethical. That's not what a civilized society does. And there is enough money without turning to socialism to do that. Absolutely there is. And they tell you they don't believe in socialism. They're cutting out food stamps because little children getting fat while the little children are starving. That's their messaging. My messaging is feed the little children. Jesus fed 5,000 people. He didn't say, go work first before we feed you. There are instances where people need to be fed by the government to assist them because they cannot eat. And these people in public power, standing on Christian principles that are misdirected, try to tell you they don't believe in socialism. I don't either. But at the same damn time, the people that are getting the most welfare are people that don't need it. The people at the top are getting corporate tax breaks. They're getting their taxes cut. They don't even have to pay taxes. The biggest recipients of public welfare, public funds, if you want to call it public welfare, that's what I call it. The biggest recipient of public funds is not starving children, not elderly that are too old to work, that have worked hard all their life, that have to buy dog food in order to eat. And that literally happens. Don't let them fool you. That's the messaging. Let me tell you the truth about the situation. Little children going hungry in state Tennessee. I've literally stood on people's porch that have bought the political party's baloney, the political party's lies that say that there's no starving children in Knox County. Do you believe that? There are starving children in Knox County that don't have food to eat, perpetrated by this government. We should have a lunch program in the summertime for little children. That's morally, ethically, our responsibility as a civilized state. And that's not a drop in the bucket. The biggest recipients of welfare is the elite, the people that don't need it, that are gluttonous by the huge salaries that they make off our tax money that go against public benefit and against public safety and even endanger themselves. You look at the highway patrol and where they're arresting people, spending their time on people that are completely innocent of drunk driving while the drunk driver runs down the road just to get a number to make it look good, to make it look like they're doing something for public safety. And they're getting paid and they're trying to increase the wages so they can get more troopers and more people in government power to make things look good, to get more of your money, to punish. And the wrong continues going on down the road, making things worse. So the messaging is important. That's the message. The government's not working. It's not working for you. It's not even working for them. It's even endangering them. We're doing them a favor. So messaging is vitally important. And we're getting the message out. And so it's a win. It's a win-win. We don't lose this. We're getting a message. I'm getting a message out right now. Thank the good Lord in heaven. And called for this mission to protect our constitutional rights. One of the main constitutional rights we need is the right to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, the First Amendment, freedom of speech. They literally put me in jail. And one of the reasons, I won't tell you this is because this is not their message. This is my message. You can believe it or not, but I'm getting it out, whether you like it or not. If you're in the government, you better lump it because I got a right to say this. One of the reasons why I was arrested, and you will be too, it's a coming, I believe, is for handing out Where Are All the Missing Gone? A Christian book instructing people what happened when the caught up takes place. And I was handing out, the books were left on the ground after I got knocked down. I had a whole handful of them, hand them out. From my sister gave me a bunch of those books that she used for her free money to buy a bunch of those books to give out to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to people that are here on earth after Christian people are gone. It's called Where Are All the Missing Gone? And it tells you where they're gone. They're caught up in the air and tells people how to become a Christian. That's one of the reasons why I was arrested. Now, the Christian governor, Bill Lee, that's on the political party conveyor belt, he won't tell you that, but I'm telling you that. Running for office, trying to get a message out. We won. Got a message out even more on the news. Me being arrested. Now, I know the story they told. It's a dirty lie. They lie a lot, and they're dirty, insidious lies. And this message, coming up on 5 million people now, is a message of the truth. Unbridled truth, unbridled news. Help me get this message out. So in any war, there's messaging. And this war is a war of messaging. That is the war that we win, even if we don't win the governor's office. And we might. If you spread the message out, we can come from nowhere. We can blindside them at the polls. Go to the polls and vote. Call 5 of your friends. Take them to the polls with you. We can definitely win this race and be a government for you. I'm offering you to represent you on be the license plate. You drive the car, and I'll do what Tennesseans say. And that's the message, that the elite versus the people in Tennessee, the mass populace, millions of them. So the messaging is vitally important. That is the war. They don't understand that. They say, what are you doing? You can't win. Well, we might win. That very well might. And we're getting a message out. We're winning this war. Even they're watching this. So straighten up your act. Get on your knees. Ask God to forgive you. Come into your heart and save you. Start leading the government in the right direction for the people. Stop taking corporate welfare. Stop enriching yourself. Stop even endangering your stupid selves. So they're getting the message. Trust me, they're getting it. Now, it's not a message where I'm going along with them. I'm in direct confrontation with them. People say, why are you going head on with all these people? Why you got to go head on with all these people? And if you've seen some of my speeches, at some of they won't even let me finish a sentence. They say I'm rude. Rude is truth. I can get on the conveyor belt and say, hello, y'all nice people, great people. I hope y'all win office. And I'm behind you all's political rich party and everything's great. And you see the billionaires campaigning for people here in Knox County. And I could, they would be wonderful while they were destroying me. If I tried to get along to go along, I'm telling you, it won't work. You can try to get along to go along. It won't work. But we're trying to destroy politically their party and represent the people in Tennessee. That's our message. So even in Iran, with this rogue, murderous regime, messaging is important. The Iranians, the regime, that's about all they have is a message, because they ain't got many bullets left. And it's powerful. It's working because people are afraid to go through the straits, because they're afraid their ships will get blown up. So messaging is powerful. And there's messages right now in the United States by people that were high up in political office that were chameleons. They represented, they were something and they were really something else, which is pretty horrific. And people in public office, they do that all the time. They put on a show. They're excellent actors. They could win an Oscar for how well they present themselves. There's some here in Knoxville on TV campaigning for political candidates. How wonderful these people present themselves to be for you, the people, when they're not for you. They're chameleons. And they're sending a message to that is, we're wonderful, keep the political parties going. And there's people in power, and you seen one the other day, and the message is to stop the fight, in Iran, and give it up. And they're trying to spread that message. The news media is spreading that message. The local news media is spreading the message, and the state news media is spreading the message. Give up the fight in Iran. Give up the fight in Iran. And stop the war. So yeah, we're still on. Give up the fight in Iran. My phone stopped. Give up the fight in Iran. Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate that. That's the message. I hope y'all can hear me. Give up the fight in Iran and surrender and that's the message that they're sending. Let me adjust this. That's the message that is being sent, is give up the fight. It's a bad war, and forget it. And don't come back no more. So, and I'll tell you what's going on, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting what's going on with the fight in Iran and by people in the power in the government. And this is how crooked these people are. People in power in the government are campaigning for the Iranians. And we'll show you exactly how they're doing that. They're campaigning for Iran. People in power. in the government. Let's see how many people we got on here. Thank y'all for joining me. Like, share, comment. So we got almost 50 people in here. We have 5 senses or 6. Okay. So y'all talking amongst yourself. That's good. I appreciate it. So in the government in Tennessee, or in the federal government, they are sending out a message. They're sending out a message. Mr. Joe Kent sent out a message for the enemy the other day. Imagine that, sending out a message for the enemy, for the Iranians. And the message he sent out was to give up the war. It's not worth the fight. Trump was wrong. America's wrong. After the war has already started. So Mr. Joe Kent, Director of National Counterterrorism, Joe Kent, resigned, and he wrote out a letter, a propaganda. Now this is good propaganda. He sent out false propaganda that the war was bad because we had no reason to go to war, put out anti-Semitic statements that it was because of Israeli lobbyists in the United States that promoted a war that should have never been started. So blaming the Israeli government on our participation already started in this war. Joe Kent, that's a message. He sent out a message from the high levels of the United States government, a propaganda message right out of an Iranian war camp, right in the bunkers where they're hunkered down getting bombed. They have got a message out through Mr. Joe Kent to say that, and the message is not a bomb, because they have no bombs over there, frankly, not many. But that's how important messaging is. That's how important this channel is. Like this channel, subscribe to this channel. I'm telling you how important messaging is. Messaging is the war. You can win a war without one bomb, and that is the goal, to do that. Now, we're never going to drop bombs. We're never going to be violent. It's self-defense. But we can win this war. They're violent, but that's irrelevant. We can win the war by being truthful, and we're going to do that. Now, this is how powerful messaging is. And this is what this war's about. This is what they don't understand. And they're going to get, I'm going to explain it to you in simple terms. The messaging is the war. And even if we don't win government office, we've shined a light on the dirty corruption in the state of Tennessee. Howbeit, we can, bet your bottom dollar, win public office. We sure as hell can. Now, that's the message they want to tell you, that we cannot win, that we're not viable. Yes, we can. And we're winning by getting the message out. I mean, we're winning, and I'm not going along to get along. And they say, well, you have to go along to get along or you won't win any office. No, if we go along to get along, we still won't win office, because we have core foundational beliefs in the good protection of mankind. We believe that for God so loved the world, he don't just love these rich billionaires that think this world is all there is. You can't take it with you. What you can take with you is the righteousness that you have done on this planet, and that's what we're doing. We're fighting a righteous cause. If we don't win election, even if we did win the election, well, we're going to be governor for 4 years, which we can do mass amounts of good. If I were a horrible governor, I'd be better than the governor now, because he's horrible, way down on the list. So the messaging is the war, and that we win this by messaging. So remember, share, like, subscribe, spread this message. Call your friends, tell them to watch Charles Van Morgan. That's the war, is the message. Getting the message out is the war. And it will promote voting. But we won't get anybody to vote if we don't get the message out. 2.5 million people have been very successful. But somebody with a YouTube channel, a cell phone, tennis shoes, knocking on doors, talking to people in less than 5 years and less than 6 months on this channel, has gotten a huge message out. And I've been pressured by good people to go along, get along. People say, why are you always going head on to people? Because they're going the wrong damn direction. So you want me to go the wrong direction with them against you? It ain't going to happen, I'm telling you. I've got a good sound mind, and I've been through the fire, and I know what I'm talking about. They haven't been through the fire. They don't know what's going to hit them yet. And I'm not talking about anything violent, but the message is the war, is the fight, and we are being very successful. So Mr. Kent, Joe Kent, from a high public office in the federal government, insidiously has concealed himself to be American, pro-American values, did infiltrate the American government as the counterterrorism center. Wow. So he's had contacts with these terrorist people. If you're in counterterrorism, you try to assimilate with these people apparently the best you can in order to find out what's going on. So you have a lot of contact with terrorism. It's counterterrorism. So if you're in that business, like if you're a crime fighter, you have a lot of contact with crime. Now you can either fight the crime or you can be assimilated into it and be a criminal too, which is what happens in a lot of state government. But he's in counterterrorism. So he is literally sending a message. Now the news media won't tell you this. I'll tell you this. It's something unheard of, but it's the truth. It's real facts. It's real simple. He's in counterterrorism. He's had a lot of contact with terrorists. He's assimilated himself. Now he should be doing that to a point in order to protect Americans, because you have to fool the foolers. But you don't assimilate with them and start spreading their message, which is what this dirtbag has done, Mr. Joe Kent. Now, the FBI is investigating him because he started leaking information, supposedly according to them, before he resigned. Now, I think he resigned because it was found out that he was leaking information. So he resigns and sends the message full force that he was already sending leaking, and they've caught him leaking. And then he's, well, I'm just going to bomb the message out that we had no reason to go to war, which is the message that Mr. Joe Kent sent, is the message deep inside a bunker in Iran by jihadist people that would seek to kill all Americans that don't believe. And there's some cities that they wouldn't destroy. I don't think that Iran would destroy New York, because New York has got a Islamic government in power. I mean, they've infiltrated the highest offices of our government in the state of Tennessee, in cities. Thank the good Lord in heaven, they haven't infiltrated the presidency as of yet, because he's fighting them. They've infiltrated our messages in the United States. They've infiltrated our news media in the United States. They've infiltrated the highest levels of national government power in Joe Kent in the counterterrorism unit, who has assimilated with the terrorists. You can be in a bunker with the jihadist Islamic terrorist government that is even dangerous to its own people. And the message that they're sending, they're hunkered down. They're scared out of their wits, because they're being bombed to hell. And there's a lot of people in power over there being killed daily, getting their arms and legs blown off, which they should, because they've done that to children all over the world for years and years, and killed our soldiers. 600 soldiers were killed in roadside bombs, paid for and by Iran when they put them in Afghanistan. Patrick Fitzgibbon was killed by a roadside bomb funded by the Iranian rogue regime. So this is payback, and payback is a good thing in war. You don't let people blow you up and blow your friends up without stopping them from doing that. And this is exactly what's going on. This is a just war. Praise the Lord for this war. It is a good time, according to the Bible. War in its time is good. God said he made all things good in their time. So war, God made a season for, and in its season, which is now, it's good. So war is good. And if you think differently, then the alternative is you just be blown up and be dead. I mean, I choose not to do that. War's not a good thing that we should seek after, but in its time, it is good. It is a time for war. So Joe Kent is sending a message straight from the bunkers where they're hunkered down, scared to death. The message they want to send out is stop bombing us. Stop. You had no reason to bomb us. They can't get that message out because they're hunkered down to bomb. So they've got Joe Kent, who has talked to them probably. He's counterterrorism, knows it. So he's sending that message for them. You have no reason to bomb us. Now, that is a lie. That is a false message. It is absolutely false. I mean, it is so ridiculous. And if you repeat a false message enough, keep on saying it, keep on repeating it, people start believing that's true. I mean, Charles Van Morgan saw a wreck off the road, let a young man die. Charles Van Morgan saw a wreck off the side of the road, saw a young man die. Said by people in power. That's a dirty, nasty lie. Every bit false. That's not true. I seen the tail end of a car that I thought was parked that anybody would have under the circumstances. But people in power lie, people in the bunker lie, Joe Kent at the highest levels, some of the highest levels of this federal government lie. So millions of people across the United States of America, and the news media picks it up, and it's a wonderful thing. Stop bombing these innocent people. Do you believe that? I don't. They're not innocent people. They need to have the hell bombed. They need to have the hell bombed out of them. And they need to surrender and start cooperating with a civilized society. Until they do, bomb the hell out of them. Now, they've crossed the threshold now to where we're going to bomb them and we're going to destroy them because they're not going to cooperate. Not the Iranian people. We're doing this for the Iranian people. So Joe Kent spreading the message of these people in the bunker, which messaging powerful. It's not a bomb. Iranians don't have any bombs. So they got Joe Kent spreading a message. Now, counter to that, directly counter, you got people in government power spreading a message. We're good for you in Tennessee. We're good for you. We're Christian people. We campaign in churches. We're good. We're good people, which is a conveyor belt for the elite people. That's what the political parties are. Conveyor belt for political people. For the political parties of political elite that are starving you out, killing you every day, arresting people wrongfully, which is a drop in the bucket. So Joe Kent is spreading a message for the Iranians. So speech is powerful. Stop bombing us. That's what they want in the bunker. Stop bombing us. Stop bombing us. They can't say that, but they get Joe Kent, who they've already got infected with this disease of lies, this virus, this cancer of lies. So he knows they're being bombed, don't want them being bombed, and spreads. We had no reason to be over there bombing them. We had every reason in the world. It's about damn time. It may have almost been too late. Do you have to worry before a nuclear weapon is in the sky over the United States of America? Probably in the center of America, maybe near Oak Ridge, where they've got stuff that we don't even need to know about to protect America, to bomb that. And when it's too late to fight back, I mean, even if you blow up a nuclear weapon in the air, it's still going to cause mass casualties for years and years across the United States of America. They were making bombs to do that, saying that they were going to bomb America. Had no reason to bomb them because they didn't have a bomb over the United States of America. How ludicrous and ridiculous is that? If you think about their arguments, they are so crazy. And Joe Kent, from some of the highest levels of public office, is spreading a message for those people hunkered down in the bunker that are not going to win. They're not going to win, but trying to get us to stop bombing them. So see how powerful messaging is? That's how powerful this message is. Counter to that, I'm for the war. It is good. Thank the good Lord in heaven that we're finally doing something to protect Americans in this nation, this great nation. I was concerned with all the political rivalry going on and the news media, that the government would be so intimidated, would be so hampered that it wouldn't be able to act had we faced a serious crisis. And so I'm very pleased that we're taking action to defend the sovereignty of the United States of America and to defend our allies, Israel, whom we will be blessed for defending them. It's real simple. The message that they're sending, we had no reason to go over there, is a message being sent out by people hunkered down in the bunker that are scared of their own shadow right now. They're getting the hell bombed out of them. The other leaders in that terroristic organization are being killed, and they're sending a message, stop bombing us. And they've got to Joe Kent, and he's trying to send a message, you don't have no reason to bomb us. The hell we don't. Keep it up. And that's what they want to send about me. What are you doing? You have no opportunity to win the governor's race. But messages on their side, Joe Kent's message is false. The FBI is investigating him because he was leaking, and he just resigned, I believe, because they were caught on to him. And so he wants to send out the big bomb going out the door that we had no reason to be over there, when he didn't. He thought we had no reason to be over there while he was in the chameleon in the White House and counterterrorism. What a con. Be who you are, say who you are. And I am who I am. I'm for the mass populace of Tennesseans. That's my message. It's powerful. I'm not hunkered down in the bunker. This is a powerful message. Unlike their message that Joe Kent is sending to millions of Americans, and people are buying it, that we had no reason to bomb them, which is absolutely false. I'm sending a message that's more powerful because it's a truthful message. The message he's sending is a lie. What a tangled web we weave. You can go back 48 years and find reason for us to be over there. Now, I remember when I was in high school, they had a popular song out. Bomb, 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 Iran, bomb, 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 Iran, bomb, Iran. Let's take a stand. And 48 years later, we finally do what we should have done years ago, and we wouldn't be dealing with this problem because we had presidents that didn't do what they were supposed to be doing, protect the sovereignty of America, that were too afraid, that were listening to messages that were false. So this message is a truthful message. It is bombing Iran. It is bombing symbolically, non-violently, symbolically, the political conveyor belts that carry themselves to power above the millions of Tennesseans. It's powerful. So messaging is powerful. I mean, that's all they got. And we got more tactics, all non-violent. But so help us with this powerful message of voters of truth enraged against the few people in government, against their corruption. That is the message that you need to help us perpetrate. So Kent was nominated by the president, confirmed by the Senate last year. Wow, got all the way that high. Posted his resignation letter on X Tuesday morning saying he cannot support sending the next generation to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people nor justifies the cost of American lives. That is propaganda. That is absolutely, positively, 150% false. It's a false message. It's not true. It's not true. And the message that I'm sending is the truth. People in government power are corrupt. The ones that aren't are going along to get along. We are fighting that. That's the message. It's on Channel 10, running for city council. People say, oh, you lost that race bad. Yeah, I'm fighting the elite people. Sure, they try to hammer me. The message got out, so we won. And I didn't curb the message. I went to their Center City Republican Party. and if you want to watch the video, you can see I didn't go there to praise the political parties, because the political parties don't serve Tennesseans. They serve themselves. They serve Bill Has-Been. They serve Bill Lee, High Bills Lee, who cut their taxes and raise yours, and cut out the feeding children, cut out hospital care for themselves, and penalize Tennesseans, give welfare to themselves, and don't help you all. Now, I could have went there and tried to win public office. That's what I'm about, winning public office. But that's not what I'm about. And that's not what I did, and that's not what I do. That's why you can see this is a real campaign, really for you, not just trying to win political office. This is why this campaign is different than any other campaign in the history that I've ever seen. Have you ever seen a political candidate that just goes out and tells the truth for the mass millions, that's got the on the side of the mass millions of Tennesseans? Have you ever seen a political candidate do that? Say, winning is not the ultimate goal. It is getting a message out for the people. If I don't win, I want that message out. I went to their little Republican Party at Center City and filmed it, because I knew that what I had to say against the people there in power, not the Republicans. Republicans are good people. Democrats are good people. The mass people across the state of Tennessee, the people on the conveyor belt that use you to get elected are not on your side. Just like this Joe Kent was not on the side of the American people. He was a counterterrorism in the counterterrorism center that has assimilated himself with the terrorists and putting out their message. That's exactly the message they want. Stop bombing us. You have no reason to bomb us. That's the message they want to send you about me. Stop running against us. You have no reason to run against us. Yes, the hell I don't. How things working for you in the state of Tennessee? Is the government serving you or is it serving them? I mean, it is well known. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And it's not because the poor don't work. The hardworking poor get poorer, and these rich people get welfare and do basically nothing, move money around and make millions that doesn't move society. You have the truck drivers, you have the nurses, you have the nurse practitioners, you have the school teachers, you have the convenience store workers, you have the workers at the restaurants and McDonald's, Burger King, and you have the construction workers, and you have the bridge builders, and you have the road repairs, and you have some people in government offices that actually produce benefit for millions of Tennesseans. And you have these people every day that are working for Tennesseans that I represent. That's the message. I'm for them. I'm not for the people over you at the top, highest levels of Tennessee government that are chameleons, that are dirtbag liars. And if I don't win public office, which I damn sure we might, please help us. Subscribe, share, call 5 of your friends. And if we do, we'll be able to serve you in a better capacity. But the war is getting the message out. So we do have a reason to go to war, symbolically, a civilized warfare, political warfare against the state of Tennessee. If they don't want us running head on into them, turn around and go the right direction. So the messaging is the war. The message is the war, is a part of the real war. Now here's what they don't want you to know is 2.4 million eligible Tennesseans either didn't vote or aren't even registered. And that's the untapped audience that I'm trying to get to. And to flip some of the people, convince some of the people that voted on a political party that it's not working for you. Tennesseans' overall turnout rate for 2024 was 57.6%. The national average was 64%. So we don't have a high turnout rate. Now listen to this number here. And this is the message that I'm getting to more of you all. If we can get the message out, the message is the war. If we can get the message out, we win the war. Total voting age population, eligible, registered or not, roughly 5.5 million people are registered and didn't vote, or registered and voted, or are eligible to register but didn't vote. The total voting age population eligible to vote in Tennessee is 5.5 million people. Tennesseans 18 plus based on national census data. So 5.5 million people that we're trying to reach. Now they got 1.2 million people that won the governor's race in 2022. So we have over 4 million people. That is our fishing pool to get over 4 million people. And out of that 4 million people, we only need a little over 1.2 million people. 4.83 million registered voters as of November 2024. We need a small portion of those. Over 3.9 million cast ballots in 2024, 64% of the registered voters. Unregistered but eligible to vote are about 900,000 eligible adults not registered in the state of Tennessee. Those are people we're after. So if you are eligible but not registered to vote, you have almost the power, if we were to reach every one of y'all, to overturn the election. Of people that are politically active, that showed up to vote, that are part of the parties, that listen to the propaganda, that help the conveyor belt. There's 900,000 of y'all. If we can flip a few of those, of their votes, You have the power, if you're not registered to vote but eligible, you have the power to overturn the election. That's how powerful the message is. If we can contact the 900,000, now we're not going to be able to do that. We'd have to flip a lot of voters. But if you are registered and didn't vote, that represents an even huger part of the election. We can, the bottom line is the math that wins. Lee won by 1,129,390 votes. Now, he's not running again. 2,812,572,000 registered. Tennesseans stayed home. 900,000 or more aren't even registered. Total untapped power is about 3 million, almost 4 million Tennesseans. We just need about 30% of them. And if we can flip a few of them about 20%. So what we need in order to win the election, not just start registering on the scale, that 5% we need 1 out of 3 who stayed home. And this is genuinely winnable race if we can execute a grassroots registration turnout drive. And the reason why this message is important, even if we don't get in the governor's office, is the enemy cannot unring the bell. Once people see it, you can't unsee this. Once this is on YouTube, it's been on YouTube. Today, we have probably already reached 2.4 million views today, coming up on 2.5 million people. It's like going in Neyland Stadium. It's better than going into Neyland Stadium, frankly, and talking in Neyland Stadium 25 times in front of 100,000 people, 25 times. It's even better than that because if you're talking in Neyland Stadium in front of 25 times in front of 100,000 people each time, then all of the 100,000 people ain't listening to you. You have just a few. YouTube is at least about 2.5 million people, coming up on 2.5 million people, have listened to me, paid attention, unlike at a stadium where people ain't paying attention. Almost 2.5 million people have paid attention to me for a substantial, significant period of time, enough to get a commercial out, enough to get a message out. The government is rogue, corrupt, dirty. We're fighting them. We're not getting on the conveyor belt. We're trying to correct that. We're trying to correct the government for the millions of people. So that's powerful. That 2.4 million people. So the message is the fight. If we get the message out, we'll win the war. It's already won. It's already won. Something they can't take back. That shines a light on their corruption. And this campaign isn't just politics, it's evidence. It's evidence. It's testimony. It's a warning on the record for what these people did and are doing, not just to me. They didn't do it's to you, what they did to you. That's what I do. I'm a fighter. That's what I did when I was in government service. Lowered your fatality rate, lowered the economy rate, lowered your prices. And they just switched the fight to the real battle, which is people in government power, and it's a peaceful fight against them. Daniel didn't escape the lion's den by being quiet. He walked in faith and walked out vindicated. The outcome was never the whole point. The faithfulness is. That's what they don't understand. They're all about winning and money and power and fame, and there's another life beyond this one. And righteousness matters, and people that have been good have been martyred, and they think, oh, that's the end. What was it for? Well, it was for righteousness in the next world. And we can win a fight on this earth, in this world, if we be brave and fight and try to do it. Don't get on the conveyor belt. Bottom line, even if they steal it, cheat it, rig it, they cannot stop what's already been said. The people have heard it. God saw it. The record exists. And that's what this fight is about. They can't unring it. They'd like to try, let them go right ahead. It's too damn late. We're already winning. And we can win the governor's race. Help me do that. Subscribe, like, share, call your friends. When pollsters call, get us on the polls. Reading 5%. Tell them I'm voting for Charles Van Morgan. Tell them you're voting for yourself. Charles Van Morgan, who will represent me. He's not on the political party bandwagon praising all the political elites. He's talking about things that are of concern to me and my family, kitchen table topics, which is the economy, public safety is provided before, making sure I go into a courtroom and get a fair hearing. So Win the race. Standard campaign, vote strategy, ballot, governor seat. That's a standard campaign. Real beautiful the way they do that. That's never going to work for us. Never going to work for us. You're never going to get in public power. You're never going to get any kind of job in the public. They got those jobs lined up for all their elite, their proxy of voters. So winning the race is not going to help us setting out to win the race. The real mission, whether we win or whether we lose, election day, we got the message out. And we might be in power where we can really make a huge difference. Corruption is real. It's documented. It's on the record. Every rally, every video, every county that we touch plants a seed that doesn't go away. And that's what we're doing. And right now is the time to do it. Right now is the time to do it. Unlike any other time in history, the Bible speaks spiritually about people in power, elected officials that represent the public, which is not me, declare war, have the authority to declare a just, holy war. Now, Donald Trump has went to war against Iran. I back that fight. That's a fight that needs to be fought. In the state of Tennessee, particularly, a war has been declared by Andy Ogles against the judiciary, and I embrace that, and that is the real fight, the real issue, and it is even broader than that. So it's been declared by people in public power that have declared war, that this is time for war in Iran, time for war in the state of Tennessee. Not a violent war, a political war. Tennessee, the Bible says, in everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Today, right now, 2026, in Tennessee, it's a time of political warfare, not getting on the conveyor belt of the political parties and letting them win the race. And you know who they've already got picked on the conveyor belt? Not with swords, not with violence, but with truth, courage, and your vote. And in its time, it's good. And this is good that we're fighting, that we're going head on to the people that are going the wrong way. All men and women of Tennessee, rise up. I'm asking you to rise up. So, to everything is a season, a time to every purpose under the heaven. And as declared by Andy Ogles, the President of the United States, it's a time of war. It's a good time, a time of war in Tennessee, political war, nonviolent, civic action, not violence is what we're after. Voters of truth and rage. All men and women of conscience, rise up in Tennessee right now. So Proverbs 14:34 says, righteousness exalteth the nation. So our cause is going to exalt the state of Tennessee. The president's cause in Iran is going to exalt America. I am really pleased and happy about our stand against a tyrannic government, a terroristic government in Iran, standing hand in hand with Israel, that God promises will be blessed, about the future of this nation. We'll be blessed. Gas prices are high right now. That's a temporary phenomenon, I believe. Because righteousness exalteth a nation. This righteous cause, this message will exalt the state of Tennessee, shine a light on these people, make it more difficult, even if we don't get in government office, for them to do their dirty. Because their wrong is a reproach to all of us, even themselves. Political machines tried to silence me in the city county race. You didn't get many votes. They worked hard on it, tried to shut me down, wouldn't let me finish the speech, told me I was rude. Well, I'm very rude against people that are trying to, by in effect, kill you and take your money, steal it, and give it to them. And that's rude. I'll be rude. We need to be rude. We need to go vote. It'll be rude when we vote them out of office too, won't it? Independent action equals righteousness. What they're wanting you to do is go along with them to get along. It ain't going to work. My background and experience is one that can do this for you, unlike any other person. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm well engaged, and I'm the son of a widow. I learned how to fight bullies from the age before 2 years old. I would like to mention, I don't have as much support from women as I do from men. And this is Women's History Month. I'm the product of a God-fearing, strong, powerful woman. And so that could beat any man that was an excellent mother. I didn't have a father. My father died before I was 2 years old. I'm the product of women. I would like to ask for women's vote. The women's suffrage movement. You earned your right to vote. Vote for Charles Van Morgan. I am for you. I represent your values, the values of all women across the state of Tennessee. I will make sure that you don't get sexually harassed, that you have equal pay for equal work, that you have a place in the workplace. Your place is not just at home taking care of children. Sometimes, if that's what you want to do, sometimes men can do that. I'm out for the rights of women. I'm the product of a strong, God-fearing women and strong women against men that would run over women. And good luck with that. Good luck with that. I was raised with a mother that would take down any man for her children for what's right. So I ask for the votes of women. I am honestly on your side. I'm the product of a woman. Don't step on the son of a widow that is on your side, that is the product of a woman. I didn't have the influence of men in my life, and to a large extent, the influence of men in my life was bad influence, was ego-driven and wrong. And I'm for men too, don't get me wrong. But I've got a lot of people that support me that are God-fearing men and would protect women. And I ask for your vote too. But I need women's vote. We got to have women's vote to win this. They're more than half of the populace in the state of Tennessee. I don't have that right now. I'm reaching out the olive branch to you and saying that I will represent you too, and respect the fact that I'm a product of a woman. This is the reason what you see is what a woman raised to fight and to stand up for what's right, to not be afraid. My mother told me when she was turning out the light when I was a young child, I was afraid of the dark. And my mother told me, shut up. Don't be afraid of the dark. She didn't pamper me. She said, what time I'm afraid, I will trust in the Lord. That was my mother telling me the scripture. And so we need to mobilize as soldiers, voting metaphorically for truth. And I encourage independent voting and women. This is Women's History Month, women's contributions to the world to advance society. And I'm asking, wake up, mighty men and women of Tennessee. Joel 2:1 says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound the alarm, for the day of the Lord cometh. And we need to blow the trumpet, sound the alarm. The time to act is now. May not get another time under their rules and laws. They're making things harder on us. I encourage viewers to talk to friends and family. This is urgent. This is important. This is necessary. This is now. You may not get another candidate. Like me, they may try to assassinate me. They've already tried to put me in jail and have defamed my character wrongfully when they're the ones that are dirty and evil. So you may not get another chance. That's not hyperbole. That's not blowing things up. That's just the truth about things. Don't listen to detractors. Some will say it's not time. Even President Trump's intel leaders see the threat. Action is urgent, and he's got his leader over counterterrorism sending a message for people in the bunker. Don't listen to those. It's time now. The message that they got is we're doing fine. No, they're not. All men and women of Tennessee, rise up. Don't be delayed by distractors. Now's the time. Follow the truth, not their complacency. Joel 3:9, a divine summons. God commands nations to prepare for war, and it's the time now to prepare for war. Joel 3:9 proclaims this, among the nations, prepare for war. Rise up the warriors. That's men, women, people over 18, children. And if you can't vote, you can influence other people to vote. Let all the fighting men and women draw near and attack. The attack is spreading the message, the messaging. Like, share, comment, contribute. Thank you for your contribution. That's the message. The attack is the message. If we get the message out, that's the war, then we will win the battle. We'll win the fight. We'll win the war. That's the fight, is the messaging. Rise the warriors. That's what I'm trying to do. Trying to rouse people, voters of truth enraged. And then after we get in power, it'll be voters of truth encouraged. And rouse the warriors, let all the fighting men and women draw near and attack. The attack is the message. Get the message out. If you get the message out, spread the message. Charles Van Morgan running for governor, fighting the elite people in power who are against you. That's on the millions of Tennesseans that set it out and didn't vote, or that can be convinced to flip your vote, that voted for the wrong person, or that weren't even registered. Then rise up. We got the power in our hands. We can wipe them out of government offices and their family and their friends that are leeching off you. And so that's the message. Rise up and vote. Go vote, and encourage these people to vote and watch the show, like and share if you like the message. Unheard of message. Unheard of. Winning the governor's race is secondary. It is really secondary. Now, we want to do that. We're on the ballot. But the first goal of this, and we cannot lose, is getting the message out. And I think I made that clear. So we're winning that. I'm getting the message out today. Now, if we get it out enough, we'll be in the governor's office. You'll be in the governor's office. You'll be welcome there. Tennesseans will be welcome. It'll be an open house for you to come in and give your suggestions and say what you think, and we'll follow your will. There is a consensus across the state of Tennessee. It's not the conveyor belt lies. A time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. The time of war is now. The war is the message. That's the war. The time to get the message out is right now. And it is a good time. It is a good time in political fight, voting, awareness, and independent action. So you see the QR code. Contribute to the fight. It's in the description. And help us win this fight. And if somebody's already contributed, thank you. It takes money and effort and work to get a message out. And if you can't give money, if you can do, to Unbridled News, and we've got a bank account set up for the campaign. If you want to give money to that, then we'll give you information about how you can contribute to the campaign. Right now, you're contributing Unbridled News and getting the message out about the corruption in the government. And if you can't contribute, that's fine. I understand it's a tough economy. And it won't be a tough economy after we get in power, I assure you. There are a lot of things we can do. When I was a trooper, I lowered your cost of living. And in previous videos, I've showed you how I did that. And if you can't contribute, if you can, please do. It helps. You help your fellow man. You help the First Amendment so you can spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that's the truth. And if you can't, that's fine. You can, it's like giving money if you subscribe, if you share, if you talk to your friends. Same thing as getting money. It's the barter system. So if you can contribute, it helps us reach more people. If you can't contribute, you just absolutely can't. Spread the message to your friends and family and voters. And that is the same as giving us money. So it's a shared purpose. So in the chat, spread the message, drown out the naysayers, and peaceful action through voting and civic participation is what we're after in this election. And the messaging is the war. You are more powerful than you know. They count on you staying home and silent. 1 in 3 forgotten Tennesseans showing up beats everything they've got. Show up, bring 10 people with you. Relentless for Tennessee is maybe that's the campaign message. Relentless for Tennessee. Relentless for the mass millions of Tennessee against the political machines. They're trying to bully us. They're trying to bully us into go along to get along, and that's not even going to work for you. Even if you go along, you're not going to get along. They're not going to care. They're still going to demolish you. So that doesn't work. I've tried that, and it doesn't work. And our court system has gone rogue, and our public officials have gone rogue, and they're not on your team. They're not on your side. And let's look at the numbers again. 2,800,572 registered Tennesseans who stayed home and didn't vote. 900,000 eligible Tennesseans not even registered to vote yet. So that's over 3 million people, almost 4 million people. That is the voting pool that we're trying to say, hey, the government is in your hands. All these powerful people, these conveyor belts, they're nowhere close to 4 million people. So the power's in your hands. And if we flip a few of them, then we win the election. If we get the message out, we win the war. Now we'll be able to do a lot more good in public office, but we win the war. The messaging is the war. And don't let them spread the false messaging. The messaging is more powerful than bombs in a lot of cases. So I thank all of y'all for your time, for joining me. I appreciate the mass millions of people that have watched this show. And thank you so very much from the bottom of my heart. You're wonderful. And keep the faith. We can win. So let me pray for you all. Our greatest weapon, I keep saying, is prayer, and it is. The other tactics is a message, but the most important message is a message to God to ask for divine intervention. That's the most powerful message. And then to the mass millions of people, that's secondary. But the message to God, to help him lead, guide, and direct us, and to ask for his divine guidance and protection over this movement is the most powerful thing that can take place. So let's send that message to the Lord Jesus Christ right now. Dear Lord, in Jesus' name, I pray that you will forgive us and help us to do right. In Jesus' name, I pray for your blessing, help, protection over the mass millions of left out Tennesseans. I pray that you'll touch their heart and that you'll cause them to rise up in this just, peaceful political war against the crooked people in state government that have wronged them, that are violating the Constitution. I pray for the mass millions of Tennesseans, for their safety, health, protection, and well-being for them, their families, and their loved ones. I pray for this country. I pray for the peace of the United States of America. I pray for the peace of Israel. I pray for our soldiers as they're fighting right now justifiably for our constitutional rights. I pray that you'll stop the message of the enemy and show people the deceit in that of Joe Kent, his horrendous, evil, wicked message that we have no right to fight when we do. I pray that you'll help this message of voters of truth and rage get out all across the state of Tennessee. And I thank you for preparing us to fight this peaceful political war against Tennesseans. I pray that you'll cause them to rise up, to contact their friends, to subscribe to the channel, to go vote, and to put us in power in the governor's race. And I thank you for this wonderful opportunity of war that you've said in its time is good. And I thank you for your son, Jesus Christ, for God in the flesh that died to save people from their sins, and ask you to help us to be able to protect the Constitution so that we can spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. Thank you for this channel, and thank you for giving us the ability to fight these people in power. And I pray for my enemies, ask them to show them the evil wickedness of their ways, and I pray for their souls. In Jesus' name I pray, according to your divine, precious, holy will, I pray for my family and my safety. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. So thank y'all for joining me. May God bless y'all. We'll try to have another show tomorrow. If there's major news, we will try to show up on the scene and show you that. We're engaged in civil litigation. That's part of the fight, messaging in civil court in front of judges. Whether we win or not, I don't know. The fight's in the message. We've sent the message to the Attorney General. We don't think they're right. And we are engaged in political fighting. We're on the ballot, getting the message out, and we're engaged in messaging through YouTube and door knocking and spreading the message to the elite people in power versus the mass millions of Tennesseans. Thank y'all for joining me. And as I always try to say, remember, God loves you and I do too. Till next time. Thank you so very much.